You are Amanda Ogle, and you are gonna get your car back.
It doesn't start with a big speech or a dramatic breakdown. It starts with something much smaller and somehow much heavier. A car, a bill, and the quiet realization that the system doesn't care whether you survive or not. That's the first feeling the trailer for Toe leaves behind, and it's impossible to shake. This is not a comeback built on nostalgia. It's built on pressure. Before we begin, would you please support me? Subscribing is free and very important to me. Please subscribe for better analysis and more videos. Demi Lovato is preparing to return to the big screen in Toe, a drama based on a true story that feels painfully grounded in real life. The film is directed by Stephanie Lang and stars Rose Byrne in the lead role. From the moment the trailer begins, it's clear this isn't a story designed to comfort, it's designed to confront. Toe follows the real-life story of Amanda Ogle, portrayed by Byrne, a homeless woman living in Seattle who suddenly finds herself facing a towing bill of more than $20,000. Her car isn't just transportation. It's her shelter, her safety, her last remaining sense of control. And when it's taken away, everything else begins to collapse with it. The trailer spends time with Amanda before the legal battle even begins. We see her struggling to find work, sleeping in her car, navigating conversations with other unhoused people who understand exactly how fragile survival can be. There's no melodrama here, just accumulation. One small problem stacking on top of another until there's no room left to breathe. That's where Demi Lovato enters the story. Lovato plays Nova, another woman living in a homeless shelter. She isn't positioned as a savior or a moral lesson. She's part of the same system, trapped by circumstances rather than choices. The trailer suggests a quiet bond forming between Nova and Amanda, one built not on hope, but on shared understanding. And if you catch yourself leaning in during their scenes together, that's not an accident. This role marks Lovato's return to acting after several years away from film. While many still associate her with Disney Channel beginnings, her last major film appearance was in Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, opposite Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. She also made a brief return to television in 2020 with a guest arc on Will and Grace. Toe feels like a deliberate shift. This isn't a flashy role, it's restrained, observational, and from what the trailer shows, Lovato approaches it with a quiet seriousness that fits the film's tone. There's no performance designed to steal focus. Everything here seems built around truth rather than attention. The supporting cast adds even more weight. Ariana DeBose and Octavia Spencer both appear in key roles, bringing their own award-winning gravitas to the story. Dominic Sessa also joins the cast, continuing the momentum he built with his breakout performance in The Holdovers, which earned a Best Picture nomination. The trailer doesn't hide the film's critical success either. Toe premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in June 2025 and currently holds a perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes based on early reviews. That kind of response is rare, especially for a film tackling such uncomfortable subject matter, and a lot of that praise appears to center on Rose Byrne. Byrne's performance is being positioned as one of the most powerful of her career. The trailer itself highlights her recent awards momentum, including her Golden Globe win for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and her presence in early Oscar conversations for 2026. In Toe, she carries nearly every frame, and the emotional exhaustion in her performance feels lived in rather than performed. What makes Toe especially unsettling is how procedural the injustice feels. Amanda isn't fighting a villain in the traditional sense. She's fighting paperwork, policies, a system that treats survival as a technicality. The introduction of a non-profit lawyer into her life shifts the story into a legal struggle, but the trailer never pretends that justice comes easily or quickly. Director Stephanie Lang's background shows in the film's approach. Known for her work on Your Friends and Neighbors and the dark comedy Palm Royale, Lang has a clear eye for character-driven storytelling. Toe doesn't rush emotional beats. It allows silence, it allows discomfort, and it trusts the audience to sit with it. Release-wise, Toe is stepping into a crowded theatrical window. The film is set to arrive in theaters on March 20, 2026, sharing space with several genre-heavy releases and landing shortly after the Colleen Hoover adaptation Reminders of Him. It's a bold move for a grounded drama, but one that suggests confidence in the film's ability to stand out. What ultimately makes Toe compelling is its refusal to simplify. This isn't a story about overcoming hardship with a single inspirational moment. It's about endurance, about how easily someone can fall through the cracks and how difficult it is to climb back out once you do. If you found yourself watching the trailer and thinking about how close this story feels to reality, that reaction is part of the experience. And if you're already curious about how much of this is true, or how the system allows something like this to happen, the film is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I'll be watching closely as Toe gets closer to release, and if you stayed with me this long, you probably feel the weight of it too. Until next time, pay attention to the stories that don't look loud at first glance. They're usually the ones that hit the hardest. I'll see you in the next breakdown.